Hello, welcome to another episode. We are filling in the gaps. These were two holes in my Target collection, well, in everybody's Target collection for so long, and I'm now going to talk about them. So this one's been out for a while, but I didn't get it because I actually had the longer versions. Both of these had longer, bigger, fatter versions by James Goss. The Pirate Planet in particular, there are extensive notes in Douglas Adams's personal archive, which is held by his college in Cambridge. City of Death was obviously written in a much quicker timescale, and so there are fewer drafts and things, but both offer an expanded version of the story. And I read City of Death however many years ago, and really enjoyed it. And then got the Pirate Planet, read that a couple of summers ago on a camping holiday. Didn't enjoy it at all. It's at least 100 pages too long. And although it has some interesting ideas, the Mourners in particular being the precursor to the Mentiads, I was just bored by it. When this came out as a Target, I was like, well, let's just offload both and replace them with the Target versions. This one is predominantly a sort of cut down version of the longer one. This apparently is more of a kind of page one rewrite because this is novelising the TV version. The other one was actually more a case of novelising the earlier drafts. I also happen to be rereading The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy novels with my wife. I realised I'd actually only read them once before. I am much more familiar with the radio series. So we're sort of getting towards the back end of Restaurant at the End of the Universe. And at the same time I thought, well, let's re-listen to the radio series as well. Added to these, I'm basically pouring in late 70s Douglas Adams into my brain. And there are definite parallels. There are ideas that crop up in the Pirate Planet, or names of planets slightly different, that all appear in that first, well, no, probably both series of Hitchhikers, actually. Douglas Adams was a notorious reuser of ideas. City of Death obviously gets reworked into Dirk Gently. So that's it. So that's it. Swimming in those seas. It was great to read these. I actually read both of them in a day, pretty much, because I've just been on holiday. So it was nice to just have time to just sit and read. While there were details from the longer version of this that I miss, the whole backstory that John Cleese and Eleanor Bron's characters get given in that longer version is very funny. And I sort of pride myself on the fact that I worked out who they were very early on. And there's some other backstory for Scaroth and Herman and the Countess that it's nice to have, but I don't massively mind that it's missing. This still does a very good job of telling the story, and there are some nice additions. This just rattles through, and that's it's partly because there's just so much going on in the Pirate Planet. So many ideas. It is one of those things where it's like you feel that Adams got commissioned and he's just throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. And most of it does. I mean, it helps that I really enjoy both of these stories in their TV forms. Certainly, as far as the Pirate Planet goes, heartily recommend this over and above the longer version, which just really... I'm not going to labour the point. This is much better than the longer version. This probably slightly wins in terms of preference, but if you want a bit more, you can go into that depth with the longer version. I still don't understand why Kerensky doesn't need to eat or sleep inside the time bubble. You'll know what I mean when you read it, if you read it. Great job from James Goss. So it's nice to finally have those gaps plugged. These, along with the Saywood Dalek novels, finally kind of fill that Target collection, which I never thought would be complete. It was always going to be like those were always going to be missing, but now they're not. They've all been done. I still have this to do, which is the rewrite of this. Part of me is debating whether I kind of read them both alongside each other, a chapter at a time, to see what the differences are. Part of me is like, do I have the time? I don't know. Based on the fact that this is not that different from that, I can tell you that I will enjoy this. I do enjoy the novelisation of the TV movie. I do enjoy the TV movie. More so than it maybe deserves. I have also, thanks to my time on holiday, finished this. I think I was up to the War Doctor at the start of my holiday. So I've got through maybe like the last third of the book in that time. It's a bit hit and miss. There's some good stories in there and some really terrible stories in there. I think that's all I will say about this one. I'm not sure that I would bother reading most of them again. And sadly, Terence's last effort is not great. which is one of the main reasons for owning it. The other thing that happened on holiday was that I picked up this, which is called The Technique of Special Effects in Television. This is a book from 1971 by Bernard Wilkie, who did visual effects on a number of Doctor Who stories, also Quatermass back in the day. And it's this, I haven't read a great deal of it yet, but it's a fascinating look into how pre-computers in particular and on a shoestring visual effects were done, and also just it's a different world. It's a different world. I might share a bit more about that once I've read it. There are even bits in it that I'm like, oh, I'd love to give that a go to make my own visual effects, but we'll see how that goes. Michael and I from the Tin Dog are finally getting the gears in motion on our Prisoner podcast. Look out for that. I may get further with the Captain Scarlet stuff. That is still an ongoing work. There's lots of real life going on. We will see what happens. But anyway, thanks for watching this couple of episodes, seeing what I thought of those latest Target novels, and I will see you here again at some point, hopefully soon.